Hi, gorgeous soul family. Welcome to Eringy. I'm Erin, and welcome to your energy forecast for August 2023. We are going to uncover what the collective energy is going to bring to us this month, and it's all about what's incoming and what's outgoing. So, I really love to treat these sorts of readings with a bit of sacredness. And by that, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But it's really nice just to kind of create this really beautiful, quiet space. You can put sort of candles or some incense on. I've actually got this really beautiful white sage incense on at the moment. So I wish we had smell-o-vision. You could smell it. But yeah, you could grab yourself a tea or anything. Just really treat this as a way of connecting to your own intuition as well, and really gathering information that is important to you on this particular path, this journey that you're on. So go do that, and then we can get started. All right, gorgeous. So this white sage I was talking about before, it's hang on, I'll show you what it is. Oh, organic goodness is the one I'm burning at the moment. It is divine. Like, it smells so damn good, and it's kind of in honor. It's in honor of our previous month, which was resilience, and I don't know how your month turned out in July, but mine certainly really did require the ability to tap into that particular part of self. And white sage is just a really beautiful thing to burn, to kind of cleanse the space, to clear out negative energy. So if that's your thing, highly recommend. And I'm hoping that this month is sort of like also like a bit of a clearing as well. Oh, hey, Teddy. Hi, honey. All right, so let's get started. Actually, before we do, if there is a particular card that you're really drawn to, I've got them numbered 1 to 8. Okay, so this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so if there's a particular card that you're really kind of drawn to, just make a note of what that card is, and no doubt that particular one has like a special meaning for you. I'm not really sure if that's a good spot for you to sit, bud. Hey, why don't you come sit here next to me there? That's nice. And yeah, there we go. All comfortable. All right, and let's get comfy. All right. So where are you? This is the theme. So where are we in terms of the theme of August? We have, I'm not going to call it this though. This is the emotional loss card. But I don't feel like that is it. I feel like this month is more about surrendering. So in a way, it is like a loss, but it's a necessary one. And so I feel like you are far more in tune with your heart's desires and the values that you hold. You're far more in tune with what your spirit really loves. And so as a result of that, it kind of also means that you got to purge some of the things that kind of get in the way of you being able to be that true version of who you are. So I feel like this month is really about that. This month is really about letting that aspect, those aspects of self go, surrendering what no longer serves you, and what no longer serves you is more on an emotional sense, okay? So the frustration, guilt, regret, doubt, fear, those kind of vibes, obviously they're not going to serve you very well. So now is the month to be able to do that. So that's good. That is really good. That sort of feels like it's kind of quite in keeping too with the previous month of resilience, because I feel like that month really kind of concreted characteristics about yourself that you might not have known about, but you know now who and what you're about. Okay, so this month is about almost, what do I want to say, like the it's like I can feel it, I'm just having trouble verbalizing it. It's about releasing the smaller bits, kind of fine-tuning. There we go. Oh, pardon me. It's about fine-tuning it. Okay, so where are you at the moment as we kind of enter August's energy? Where are you sort of sitting? Oh, rest and rejuvenate. Nice. Okay, this is really good. So you're not proactive, you're not actively doing things. You probably very much need this as well anyway, that ability to just sort of take a breath, take a breather. And it's kind of no wonder, because last month it was very much like a dominant, quite a masculine energy. This one feels a lot more feminine, and yeah, we get that yin and yang kind of aspect, the balancing it out sort of thing. So we're balancing it out this month, so we're going to enter more of that reflective state. And so where you're at now is you're kind of asking for that. You're needing that time and that ability to just sort of remove yourself from everyday life and kind of collect yourself. Yeah. Okay, so let me have a sort of see how this is affecting you. Okay, so we've got the recognition and reward card. I feel like you're receiving a lot of insights as well. The fact that you are starting to realize the deep importance of resting, recouping, recollecting yourself, it means that you are far more open to receiving inspiration as well. This is really important because your inspiration is your intuition, and your intuition is that inner knowing, the inner drive, the ultimately all knowledge of why you're here, who you came to be, your mission, your purpose. Intuition is going to allow you to receive that. So I feel like because you are in that state of rest, you can receive these messages very, very clearly. And it also means that you have this beautiful, beautiful chance to celebrate your journey that you've traveled so far. I feel as though there's an aspect of you that can be quite critical, and an aspect of you that can be very judgmental of the path you have taken or the length of time it's taken to build upon that path. And there hasn't been much room for you to actually celebrate it so far and really appreciate how much you have grown already. Okay, because it's just going to be this continual thing for you. Growth is continual, isn't it? Yeah. So this particular part of August, you surrendering, so you being able just to let go, is going to allow you to appreciate the finer things, what we deem as smaller things, but they're not. They're just as important as those big goals that we reach. Okay, so the appreciation of the here and the now, and what an incredible soul you are, and what an incredible job you are doing just by being here. You have no idea. I mean, you very likely do have an idea of how challenging and how incredibly difficult this time of our collective history is right now. And just by you showing up every day and just being you is incredible. It really is. You don't have to do like really massive things to make an impact. If that's what you were thinking, if you feel like you've got to be like a certain way, or you have to do a certain thing to make an impact in this planet and all for humanity and consciousness as a whole, you really don't. Just by you being here is amazing and wonderful. So maybe that's a special message that you really do need to hear right now. So I hope that rings true to you. So let's have a look and sort of see Because, you know, we're talking about surrender. Because we're talking about emotional surrender. What are we specifically able to kind of let go of? Okay. How funny. So the Choose Wisely card is very much an emotional card as well. And let me sort of see how this is relating. I do feel it's definitely an emotional thing. Okay. When we sort of say be driven by your heart's purpose, like your desires, be driven by what you love, sometimes our emotions can really get too much for us. Sometimes we feel very, very deeply to a point where it really does affect the ability to make decisions wisely. I feel that this month is more about you letting go of the emotions that drive you to take action, and instead embrace the emotions that help you just sort of stay grounded, present, more in the here and the now. So those emotions I'm talking more about, like the ones that kind of flow into anxiety, flow into the stress and the worry about the path you're taking, those sorts of emotions, not the love emotions, the other type of emotions. I feel as though you are not as much following your mind in terms of taking action. You're a little more connected to how you're feeling. And that's incredible. I guess what they're trying to sort of pass on is just be a little careful about how much emotions are getting in the way of you being able to move forward. So if there is so much worry about something, do you feel as though that is helpful? Is that really going to assist you on your path, or is it going to hinder it? And that's ultimately up to you as to how you want to interpret these emotions that you're feeling. But I feel like now is the perfect time for you to let go of those unnecessary feelings, those ones that really are hindering your ability to be able to make wise decisions. Let me just make sure that that's everything that they're sort of wishing to pass on for this particular part of your reading. Yeah, I'm hearing being ruled by emotions is what I'm hearing. Okay, so I'm laughing at that because I am very much ruled by emotions also. So you're not alone. So decisions, when you're making these decisions this month of August, what I encourage you to do is really allow your emotions to come to the forefront, allow your mind to come to the forefront, try to marry the two together, test the waters and sort of see, well, am I being driven by this particular decision or this particular option through my emotions? And are those emotions coming from a place of fear? Is my mind telling me that I should be fearful of this? Or is there a doubt in my abilities to fulfill this, or whatever the case may be? And maybe it's just a chance for you to come back to this practice of resting and removing yourself from the situation or the particular options and just letting it kind of percolate for a while. I feel like this particular year, this whole year so far, has been very much like a percolation year. It's that time where you just sort of settle in for a bit, and it's almost like you're waiting, but it's not a bad thing. And I do remember there's been a few times where I've said to you that momentum can still be built even if you are essentially doing nothing. That's momentum in itself, by you just taking a break and taking a step back and not being so emotionally invested in certain options or certain choices, and just allowing just to settle into it for a little bit. Okay, cool. So if you're letting that particular part of self go, what's coming into your life for this month? Okay, accelerated motion. I'll show you the card. Accelerated motion. I feel like this is almost like the result of what can potentially happen if you're able to surrender the hold on a lot of emotional things at the moment. So once you kind of purge those aspects of self that you're really not loving, like the doubt, the fear, the guilt, the inability to forgive. They all sound bad, but they're valid. They're valid things to feel as well. Don't get me wrong. They no longer stay valid if they rule your life. Okay. So we can still feel them, but then at the same time, if they kind of get in the way of us moving forward, it's probably not overly beneficial. So I feel as though there is a lot of energy coming into you whereby it's sort of lifting you up and trying to kind of nudge you forward. But if you feel that there's resistance, like an emotional type of resistance there, the fear of the unknown, the fear of success, the fear of change, then certainly this sort of thing cannot really happen for you, okay? So even though it's trying to come into your life, I feel as though if there are walls up, it's going to make it quite tricky to do that. All right, so hopefully that's making sense to you. I'm going to sit with this just a little longer. Yeah, okay, so you know when you look up at the sky, right? Pardon me. So say for instance you're looking up at the sky at night and you can see one star, and the minute you sort of see that one star, then all of a sudden there's like hundreds of stars. It's like the eyes adjust and you can sort of see so much more. It's a little like that. It's kind of like once you remove these bits of self that you're not really loving, like really like soulfully love right now, you're going to actually wake up to the idea that there is so many other possibilities for you and so much potential for you. So there's one star, but then suddenly there's thousands upon thousands of stars in the sky, and that's you. So that's also kind of where I feel like that they're kind of sort of saying is that these sorts of opportunities will come to you quite quickly and almost unexpectedly when you just let your barriers go. Okay, so there's so much potential here, so much potential in August. It's actually, it's quite exciting, really. But I feel like that it's really up to you. So it's an interesting month. Some months, what's going to happen during the month will happen, whether you're prepared for it or not. It's just going to happen. This month feels like it could happen, but there are a few things that you may need to work on, to tweak a little bit, to micro adjust before the benefits can show up. Okay, so it's a little more of a personal thing this month. All right, so if that is the case, if you follow this particular kind of trajectory, what can you hope to achieve? Hey, throat chakra. I love this chakra. Throat chakra is the beautiful color blue. Hey, I'm wearing a blue bracelet. That's so cool. Must have known. Okay, so throat chakra, funnily enough, sits at the throat area. And it is about communication. Throat chakra is about the self-expression, communicating your truth, like your proper truth. It's not always external communication either. So it's not like, me speaking to you or writing or whatever. It can also be the communication that we hold within ourselves, our internal communication. So as you sort of let go of these, you surrender these old emotions, these belief systems that you just really aren't functioning to assist you on your path, and you start to sort of see so many wonderful other opportunities available to you, then you're going to be able to really step into the truest version of who you are. And this is going to take a while. I don't feel like this is just like a 1 month kind of deal here. This feels like it's the beginning point of you really showing up day to day, communicating your truth, and doing it in a way that is easily heard by others. So I feel like, you know, when we're like super stressed out, and sometimes because of that, because our mind is just going crazy, we either have trouble making decisions, or we have trouble communicating, coming up with the right words. Everything is sort of a little bit jumbled. Have you had that before? I definitely know I have. And it's in those moments where I feel like I'm trying to communicate what I want to say, but it just doesn't come out the way I want it to. And so anyone who is hearing and listening to me isn't really able to take the full version of what I'm trying to express. In August, it's going to be so much easier for you to communicate effectively. And not only that in the way that we communicate, but it's the way you listen as well. So you're going to have this chance where you'll know when's the right time to express yourself and when's the right time to listen. Because the throat chakra is about sharing and it's about listening as well. So you can look forward to that power, because it really is. It's actually quite a superpower to communicate effectively, because it means that you are understood, and it means that you can be seen and heard in the way that you actually want to be seen and heard, and it's not going to get jumbled up or misinterpreted. Yeah, so I love that. And hey, if you are feeling that it's difficult to connect to this particular energy center of the throat, then do what I do. So wear blue if you feel like. I put this on because I knew that I had to communicate to you today the monthly reading. So I literally put it on because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of assistance to do that. So I wear my blue jeans and I wear my blue bracelet. And there's certainly many other things that you can do as well to help clear this energy. Crystals definitely help, because obviously I'm always going to go on about beautiful crystals. Crystals such as sodalite can be really lovely to work with. My favorite, lapis lazuli, is beautiful. That can really help open, cleanse, recharge this aspect of your energy portals. Singing as well can really help. And it's not even about how you use your voice either. Sometimes it is about writing and journaling. For instance, if you are having trouble with the emotional aspects, if you're feeling like, you know, you feel very, very deeply, journaling can really help express and let go of those things as well. So throat chakra isn't just the vocal aspect. Okay, I think sometimes there's a tendency of thinking that is the only form of communication, but there are so many other different ways. Dancing is another way as well. Can communicate that way. Art, being expressive through the way that you make art as well. So yeah, many ways to do that. So yeah, I highly recommend, definitely. So if these are sorts of things that we're kind of bringing in, what's the thing that we probably should be mindful about to avoid for August? Okay, we have material and spiritual prosperity card. One of the things, because, you know, we have been sort of saying about the emotional side of things and surrendering the emotions. I feel like a lot of the time when we create goals, it's based on what we're going to gain on a material aspect. And again, this particular message, as far as material things, has been such a big one for this whole year so far. Material things is wonderful, of course, but if it's that the biggest motivation or the biggest drive for you to get out of bed and do what you do, it might not always be the wisest thing to do. So can you, for this month, maybe explore your motivations as to why you make decisions? Are they based on, you know, the material gain? coming back to the emotional stuff, because I've got to sort of tie it all in together. When you have a goal and you're worried that it's not going to come to fruition, does that impact, what am I trying to say? Hang on a second. I need to communicate effectively. Just give me a second, because I know what I'm trying to say, but I've got to make sure I'm verbalizing it correctly. Let's do an example. I find examples very helpful. Okay, so say for instance, your goal is to make a certain amount of money. Okay, just say that that's it. So the reasons why you do what you do is because you've got a certain amount of money that you would really love to have. Then if that's the case, have a think, why am I motivated by that? Is it so I can feel safe, secure? Is it so I feel like I can enjoy my life? Is it so I can feel successful? Okay, so these are some examples. When you have that, and that particular goal isn't being met, of course you're going to start to feel these other emotions, the emotion of not succeeding, the emotion of disappointment, the emotion of lack, the emotion of fear because you're not reaching your goal, the emotion of stress and anxiety as well, because you're trying so hard and you're not sort of getting to that particular point that you really want to at the time. So I feel as though this month, really the focus can be more about the driving force of how you want to feel, not the material thing that you're going to gain. Okay, so instead of the driving force being, I need to make money this month because I want to feel safe, secure, I want to feel successful, or whatever it is, maybe you could take a step back and sort of say, well, I want to feel safe this month. That's how I want to feel. And perhaps that feeling of being safe, or whatever the feeling is that you really want to be feeling, can be practiced, or it can show up in other ways. So it's not necessarily through having a lot of money. Maybe that feeling of abundance can show up differently. So I feel like, I feel so many feelings, but I feel like for August, we're kind of being encouraged to be driven by our emotions, but not like the negative ones. So be driven by the things that make you feel really good. Okay, that should be more of your motivation as opposed to the material game. I do feel like it's more material. Like on the card here, it says material and spiritual. I feel as though the spiritual aspect can be material too, of course, because we're here, we're humans, we're on this planet. So of course it's going to be material. We'd be silly to not think that at all. But it does get in the way of you experiencing other wonderful things on this planet if you are solely driven by material things. Okay, I'm really hoping that's making sense. So your goal, just take a sec. If you're thinking about, what am I working towards? What's my goal for this month? Have that, and then go, okay, but why do I want that? Like, what's the purpose? What do I, from a spiritual aspect, essentially gain from that? And if it's just material, then try to think about what the emotion gain. What's the emotional gain from that? And is there other ways that you can achieve that through other things that are material? Whew. It's a little complicated. I'm really hoping that made sense. I hope I communicated that effectively. Alrighty, so let's have a look at, oh, I love this. This is my favorite card. This is the card, the summary, the overall message that Spirit wishes to pass on to you for August. And it's the Love Begins card. How beautiful. It's this is feeling quite not major, but it's sort of like a turning point for you. It's a big turning point. And if you have if you are successful, and I know you can be, you can be. This isn't really like, this shouldn't be homework, or it shouldn't be like, oh, now I've got to look at my emotions. Like, this should actually be treated as a very cool practice to do throughout August, because the energy is going to be supporting you. So remember that when I'm going through this, it's not like I'm giving you tasks. What I'm trying to provide to you is a heads up of what's going to come into your life and the supportive energy surrounding that. So if you successfully align your life to this kind of thing, then this is essentially what you can experience. And it's that shift, it's that change, it's that new lease of life where you can view your life from a much more loving perspective and appreciate all the things, the little things that we deem as small, but really they are wonderful, wonderful things for us. And when in doubt, this is what they're sort of saying, when in doubt, they are here. You have your own unique spiritual support team. You really do. We all do. It's actually quite humbling to feel like we have this, almost like this group of beings who are so invested in helping you and I continue to grow and fulfill why we came here. So it's really lovely to know that as this is happening, you are being fully supported on this journey, okay? And they really just want to help you with that. So it's a partnership. When you're experiencing the highs and the lows, it's all a partnership, and it's all being experienced by you and your team of beautiful spirit guides and angels and higher beings of love and light. So that's their message as well. I just want to just quickly double check if is that all that you want to provide for August. Your cup will feel much more full this month as well. So you will have the capacity to be able to empty your cup in ways that are more serving of you. And in essence, it makes more space to be able to fill it with different emotions. Because again, this is an emotional card. Okay, so we're feeling emotional in a really, really good way. Okay, gorgeous. So I feel like a lot has come up for this, and I feel like it'll be good even if you want to sort of watch this a couple of times just to kind of really make sure that you've really absorbed this month of August. But you know, as a whole, I really feel like this every month is positive. I guess it depends on if we're like a half glass or a half glass full or a half glass empty kind of person. But I feel like there is a lot to be half glass full here. Okay, so look forward to this August and really just appreciate those emotional aspects coming to the surface, because even if they're not comfortable, they've shown themselves to you because they're ready to be let go. So they're ready to be surrendered, okay? Release, let go, because that's our theme for August, all right? So what could you surrender? I wonder. What could you surrender? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will catch you very soon. Have a beautiful August, my love. Mwah! I'm sending you so much love. Namaste.